Hello everyone, we are back from the graveyard just like Grishoalbrand, and we're playing Demonic Counsel in Modern today. So Demonic Counsel searches for a demon card, and if you have Delirium, it's just Demonic Tutor, searches for any card. This is especially useful in this deck because Grishoalbrand, our reanimation target, is a demon, and Goryo's Vengeance, our primary reanimation spell, is any card. So if we can get either of these using Demonic Counsel, it's kind of like we have 8 copies of both. In addition, it is a black card for Soul Spike. So if you've seen some of my earlier versions of this deck, you may notice that I cut Buried Alive and I cut Grisly Salvage. So we're much less reliant on putting our Grishoalbrand into the graveyard from our deck, and instead we can lean a lot heavier on discarding it from hand with 4 copies of the Underworld Cookbook and then Thoughtseize. Saga additionally acts as more copies of Cookbook. So we also have Rumble, which can just coincidentally hit the Grishoalbrand, although it is primarily there as a way to both A, ramp a little bit for Shifting Woodland, and B, put cards in the graveyard for Delirium for Demonic Counsel. So it's kind of just like a general purpose decent card. We can also just like find Grishoalbrand with it, although I guess that's the same as binning it, so whatever. It also helps find Shifting Woodland, which is nice. Generally a pretty flexible card. The other new Duskmourn card you might notice in our sideboard is Ghost Vacuum. So Ghost Vacuum is definitely a little bit on the slow side, but it does let us have some game against like surgical effects or Kozilek's Command potentially, where we can exile a Grishoalbrand that has been targeted by an effect like that, and then if we get to 6 mana, we can use the Ghost Vacuum to play the Grishoalbrand, so that's pretty nice. Otherwise, in the yard or in the board, we have Through the Breach, which is a way to potentially beat Grave Hate, Pact of Negation for counter magic decks, Haywire Might for anything that is expected to have artifact or enchantment based hate, and then Slaughter Pact if there's like hate creatures that we need to deal with. So this is again a pretty early iteration of this list. I've also been working on a Sultai version of this with like Psychic Frog, Tainted Indulgence, Founding the Third Path. But so we'll probably see that one at some point in the future. But for now, we're going to try this one out and see how it goes. Okay, so we are here in round number 1 with a hand that I think is pretty interesting. We do have Cookbook to bin a Grizzle. We have Demonic to go get the Grizzle. We're on the draw. I'm going to keep this as a 1-lander. It is potentially a turn 3, which would be nice. The second Cookbook is a little redundant. Flooded Strand, looking for Hallowed Fountain. Okay. So could be like Jeskai Energy, Tamiyo. Yeah, probably some sort of like energy control. Pick up a Footsteps of the Goryo. So now I have an interesting choice to make. Do I get the Surveil land? I think I do. So I think it's just so important to hit the extra Cephalid Coliseum. Interesting. So important to hit the second land. I can't like miss this land drop. And then yeah, all right, so we'll go for the Surveil. We'll top that and draw. So we did hit. I'm gonna play a Verdant. Here, I think I like Cookbook to bait and then Cookbook again. I think a Counsel is reasonably likely to get countered. Although if I just Counsel off the bat, they don't necessarily know that I'm reanimating a Grishoalbrand. All right, so I'm going to fetch, and maybe I will actually Counsel. We got a Black Source. So I'm kind of okay. No, it happened. Okay, so that's good. That's important because now I do get to potentially play at instant speed once I get one of these Cookbooks in play. They're cracking the clue, it looks like. So their Tamiyo has cycled. They've played 3 mana cycling, and we will see if they have anything else. Maybe they have a Teferi on 3 if they're fetching now to play something. Cephalid Coliseum's a little bit weird if this is like proper Control, though. This could be... What would play Cephalid? Exhaustion. So it's like taking turns. Interesting. I mean, I got Saga, which is not bad. And put a cookbook into play. So now we pass and hope that we don't get exhaustioned again. They do get to make another clue. Right, so they're passing. Go to our turn. Saga ticks up. So I could shock this in. If so, I'm at 16 rather than 18. Potentially lets me play around something. I don't really know what it lets me play around. I'm going to still shock it in. I guess it lets me play around Spell Pierce, potentially. I'm just going to pass, and when they go for a clue crack on my end step, then we're going to try and kill them in response. We'll dump the Grizzle. Say, do you have Force of Negation? Because Spell Pierce isn't going to do it. Force Negation or Bust. Okay, they didn't have it. They picked up Shoal and Worms. That's very good. So we'll go for the spike on them. Pitch Thoughtseize. I'm not going to show them Footsteps of the Goryo. They don't need to see that. Although I probably am going to board that out. So maybe I should show it to them. Go down to 6. Can spike them again. Counsel Footsteps. We do have double Shoal here, which is nice. Drop 7. Okay, 7 more. We do have an Endurance already if we need it, so that's big. Spike them again. We can get rid of Agorios. I also shocking it in does net me 1 life with the food, so that's another thing to think about. If I needed to, it's +1 overall. I could have Shoal, Pitch Worm. Hopefully it's just in these last 7, or not the bottom 4, and then I don't have to worry about it. Okay, looking promising. So we'll get rid of Counsel and Counsel. All right, so we win game number 1 over what looks to be some sort of like Tamiyo taking turns, question mark. I want Pact. What do I expect as far as Grave Hate? I feel like I'm not expecting Surgical. I feel like maybe 2 Haywire Mites. Is there an orb less relevant against a deck that's not pressuring my life total? Rumble, a little bit less relevant. I can probably cut 1 land, go like this. Don't know that I'm going to need Ghost Vacuum. I mean, it is not bad against like Tamiyo or something like that. Potentially it's okay if the matchup is a little bit slower. Not actually convinced it's going to be, though. I'm just going to try and like jam with like Pact and Thoughtseize. Just go all in. We have a turn 3 Gorios. That's pretty good. I'm going to keep this. Also, notably, we don't have to tap a land until then, so Exhaustion isn't going to do anything to us. They go for a tapped land on turn 1. Now, Saga could be a little bit rough if they like, ooh, Haywire gives me something to do with it. So if they have like Rest in Peace or whatever, we have an answer. That's not bad. They maybe don't want to throw something into that, or else maybe they I am going to shock this in so that I can potentially Haywire something if I need to. See what they do. Shifting Woodlands is also pretty good to have here because that's another reanimate that isn't going to use the stack. So I'll float a colorless. Go get a cookbook. Play a land. And we're going to pass. Shoal Worm is a nice one to have. As far as like extra cards other than comboing, I mean, Thoughtseize would be the best, but if not for like, or Thoughtseize or Pact, but if not for one of those, then I'm like pretty happy with this. Should attack with my Haywire Might. They have Snapcaster that they're flashing in. I mean, that's okay. It's not really okay, but... And they don't do anything there. So if they have like an untapped play Rest in Peace, then that's a little bit bad. I maybe shouldn't have attacked with the Haywire Might. Okay, so far nothing. They could have Surgical. That would be bad. I'm gonna pass. Shoal Worm on end step. Harbinger of the Seas. Well, that's bad. I think this is going to get counterspelled, and then I'm going to lose is what's going to happen here. Maybe I Shoal Worm first. See if that does anything. Does not. And discard a Grizzle. We could also spike the Harbinger, potentially, if we draw enough black cards. Okay, so we're not completely out of it. I expect this to get countered, but... They do, yeah. Oh, they have Remand. Okay, not the worst counter-wise, then. Because now, basically, all I need is another black card, and then I can spike the Harbinger. Shifting is not another black card. I could return my Grishoalbrand to my hand, which would not be good. I will crack this food here. What do they got? Part the Water Veil. Okay. So, do they have another turn? They have Teferi. Makes sense. Yeah. I'm just gonna crack a food. I don't see a reason to replay that. Or to, I don't know, to do anything with that. They're gonna hit me for 2 more. Up a cookbook, I'm gonna replay cookbook. And pass. Thinking our chances are not good, but you never know. Is it Dictative Crewfix? I'm honestly kind of okay with that, because if we draw either Swamp or black card, we have a chance. They do get the cards first, but then we will get cards as well. Another Harbinger. So now it needs to be like multiple black cards. Discard to make a food. But, I mean, we're going to draw a pile of cards. Wait, your swamp. I mean, that's actually huge. It has to be here because the Teferi means I can't do it at another time. So I'm going to go for the Grizzle. And the question is, do they have another counterspell? They do. Well, alright, we're passing then. Maybe they don't have a counterspell in 3 cards. We'll see. Well, 4 cards, I guess, because they get a 4th card for turn. We'll get 2 more cards, though. Maybe we draw a Pact. Oh, but Teferi, never mind. I take 4 to 37, or 33. Exhaustion. Well, yeah. That's going to give them another turn. Potentially we do get to force through something if we get a... Okay, so we could spike one of these Harbingers. I'm going to do that now. And then if I like draw more black cards, I get to like spike another one maybe. Are they going to counter this? I'm honestly pretty happy about that. They're up to 3 cards. Do they have another turn? No. What does this do? Sure. That doesn't do anything. That really doesn't do anything. I guess it shuffles back like extra turn things, but they played a land. So now we're going to get to try, assuming their last card isn't a counterspell. I think it's reasonably likely to be a counterspell, but I mean, what are we going to do? Not try? Okay, so it's force negation. So this will let them make a lot of cards. I'm going to take one more turn. See if maybe we can either draw like another Goryo's. It would have to be another Goryo's exactly. The rest of it's not that good. They discarded all 4 or both cards, made 4 clues. So they can spend 2 mana per clue to crack. They bounced my cookbook. That's fine. Could get back a Grishoalbrand, but it doesn't do anything for me. I could get back a Haywire Mite. That similarly doesn't do anything for me. The Thoughtseize, Grishoalbrand. Alright, I'm good with scooping it up here. So, I could bring in Pact for the Harbinger. I think I like maybe at least one. Ghost Vacuum, I don't feel like I need. Haywire Mite, yes. Rumble, I think still no. I think we're pretty similar to what we want. Oh wait, I meant to cut a card. I just didn't. Footsteps is good. Cookbook is good. Thoughtseize is good. I'm gonna keep this, but it's a little bit sketchy. So we don't really have a great... I mean, if we find Grishoalbrand, we're in good shape. Opponent mulls to 5. So I'm going to have turn 1 Surveil, and then turn 2, like, Saga, Thoughtseize them, Cookbook, and maybe we're just on, like, a construct plan. Or maybe I just, like, Surveil a Grizzle into the yard, and then great. They've got Hallowed Fountain, Tamio? Okay, Tamio, yeah. So we're surveilling. And do I want a Haywire Might? I don't think I do. I think I need something more impactful. And I can Thoughtseize to take whatever business they have, if that's the case. Thoughtseize here. Snapcaster Counterspell. So I'll take the Snapcaster. I'm gonna play Saga. I'm gonna play Cookbook. And pass the turn. Yeah, so 2 land, Counterspell. Counterspell up. Tamiyo can make a clue. Would have been cool to be able to discard this Tamiyo. I would have definitely taken it had I played my first Thoughtseize on turn 1. I think it was reasonable to evaluate or to prioritize the Surveil, but yeah, we can go Shifting Woodland. And now I'm going to probably make something with this Cookbook, but also I'm just going to be making constructs. Like probably make a food, I mean. Okay, so they get another clue. They haven't cashed them in yet. Here I'm going to discard the Verdant. Have another food. Picked up a worm. So here I'm going to make another construct. And then maybe go for like a big worm plus constructs plan next turn. So here I'll get Haywire Might. Play a swamp. And Thoughtseize the opponent. Big Counterspell. And discard worm. Actually, we're still pretty far from being able to like use worm. Or like use the Cookbook for worm. But I mean we have 2 6/6 constructs, a Haywire Might. So I don't hate our position. They're cashing in a draw. And they have 2 islands and 1 unknown. It'll be 2 unknowns in a second here. I'd pop a clue with Haywire if I really wanted to, but I mean, if they leave their Tamiyo back to block, it's because they're dead if they don't, so that's a good sign for us. Another Cookbook, not really something I need. Attack with all. And I will discard this Cookbook to that Cookbook. Have more foods to punch them for more. All right, here we go. So, I mean, Grizzle is good. They have Fairy. Is that going to be enough, though? I mean, maybe they have removal for this construct. And then they scoop it up. All right, so we get there with Construct Beatdown against blue-white turns. And next round in just a second here. We found a round 2 match, and we are on the play. Our opponent is waiting before we've even seen our hand. So it looks like they are thinking about a companion. Yeah, they revealed Gigantha. Now, here I could turn 1 Thoughtseize my own Grishoalbrand. Turn 2 fetch. Okay, so turn 1. Alright, so if I Thoughtseize Grishoalbrand, that's sorcery creature, land. I'm gonna keep this. And I think I'm maybe gonna play it slower by a turn. Potentially like Surveil on 1. And depending on what happens there, decide what to do with this Thoughtseize. If our opponent is like Storm, then I'm going to Thoughtseize them. But otherwise, I probably end up Thoughtseizing us. Annoyingly, I don't know that we're going to... Unless we draw something good, the pieces I think are not going to line up for a turn 3 here. Could line up for a turn 4. If this is energy, that might be a little bit slow. Parlor surveilling. Hopefully this is something that gives me some information so I know whether or not I need to. Okay, they topped. Doesn't really give me information. So we'll get our surveil. Footsteps is something I will keep. Now I can turn 2 Thought Seize myself, turn 3 Footsteps. That seems pretty strong. All right, opponent, you see what's coming. Can you win next turn? We do have 2 draws off of the Footsteps, or off of the Grizzle, so that's pretty good. Played basically Entomb. 1 mana black, put a Grishoalbrand into the yard. We do have to pay 2 life for it, so not quite as good. We're gonna potentially, if they just like scoop it up because they don't feel like they can beat this, we're kind of in an interesting spot where we have to guess, is it Storm or is it Energy? But I guess it doesn't really matter either way for the most part. We'll bring in like a couple Haywire Mites that can hit like a Ruby or potentially hate out of Energy. I guess they're also a little bit priced into playing just in case Footsteps doesn't kill Plains, so it's Energy. Storm wouldn't play basic Plains. That seems questionable. I mean, I guess they're hoping for the chance that we fizzle. And we just drew Gorios, so even better. I mean, we will play it because it is just lower chance of fizzling. They certainly don't have main deck Surgical. Now we'll get 3 draw 7s. Being at 24, each chunk in 7. So down to 3. And we have to find fewer soul spikes to actually kill them as well. Although, our first draw 7 was terrible. This is a little bit better. We have a soul spike. Get rid of Counsel and Footsteps, cards they know about. Gonna try to not show them Zuran Orb if I can help it. Will I even want Zuran Orb in play against them? Yeah, I can probably reliably Sorcery Speed combo versus them. Okay, so I will show Zuran Orb now, rather than do a bad shoal. Pick up a worm, so that's something we can shoal. That we're like reasonably happy about shoaling. We have Endurance already, which is good. Up another shoal worm. We're still missing 3 of our soul spikes, which seems unlikely, but sometimes that's how it goes. Get spike them, get rid of a Grishoalbrand, Demonic Counsel. 7 more, taking us down to 1 card. And 1 more spike for the win. So, nice turn 3 over Energy. And, yeah. What do I want against Energy? I'm not expecting Surgical out of what looks to be Boros. Basic Plains, I see no indicator that they're Mardu yet. Haywire Mites. They are fast, so I don't feel like I can slow down to be on the Breach plan. Thoughtseize is a little bit iffy. Slaughter Pact, they could have like Magebane or something like that. I don't mind like a Slaughter Pact or 2. Maybe just 1. Cut like a Rumble. Maybe even 2 Rumble. Maybe even 3 Rumble. Thoughtseize is pretty bad though too. I could cut like another Thoughtseize. Rumble is speed in some ways. Yeah, we can go like this. I don't think I need Ghost Vacuum. Kind of split the difference between Thoughtseize and Rumble. Like the first Thoughtseize is okay. It can be speed, but it can also just be kind of useless. Although Blood Moon Thoughtseize is not bad. There's a case maybe for like one more Thoughtseize, one fewer Saga. Saga is pretty bad in this matchup. You can't really fully cut them because you still need them to go get like what's it called, cookbook. But all right, this hand is kind of terrible. We're gonna mulligan that. It doesn't do anything. This hand is a little bit better. I mean, we just need to hit a reanimation spell. Yeah, I'll keep. I'm not exactly pumped about it, but it has enough chance that I'll try. Even if I like, Rumble's not a bad draw either. Shoal maybe means that if we like draw bad but draw a worm, we can do something with that. They're surveilling on 1. I think it's probably better than going to 5, but I think this is definitely on the low end of 6s. Okay, we do pick up worm. What do I think the odds are that we draw Goryo's, where I'd want to shock this in to play the cookbook? I think not very high. I'm just going to play it tapped. If I was going to do that, maybe I'd play the Turn Timber tapped instead, because it's 1 more life. I was thinking maybe I want to shoal the Turn Timber, but then I drew the worm, so... I mean, shoal... And then Grishoalbrand, creature, thinking about, you know, getting to Delirium for Demonic Counsel. Raptor comes in. Hits Blood Moon, but they can't play it. That's good for us. Gets a Blood Moon out of their deck, and then also they played a 2-1. Goryo's. Well, we did draw the Goryo's. I'm going to play the cookbook. I'm going to play the tapped Turn Timber. And I'm just going to shoal the worm now. We're just passing. So we could have actually had the turn 2 off of that, but I mean, I think the odds were that the life would have mattered more than like the fairly slim chance at drawing the Goryo's. And then that, of course, this only matters if we end up losing this game because we didn't shock in the tomb. So if we'd win anyway, then it still is fine to play it. One way we could lose is Blood Moon, but we know that one of them is out of their deck. So, something. I think if they had Blood Moon, they would just be jamming it here, so maybe not. Guide of Souls, okay. They get to hit with the Amped Raptor. We draw a Soul Spike. Now, I don't see any reason to play at not instant speed here. I can just pass. And then, like, when they try and play something, go for it, maybe. Because I have so much life that I feel okay about that. I also try and bring it in during combat on their turn. I think I'm a little less likely to do that, but if they like tap low, maybe they like dash in a Ragavan, play in a Johnny, something like that, then I'll probably go for it. Okay, so they're flaging, so this would be an excellent time to discard my Grishoalbrand, make a food, and Goryo's it back. Draw a bunch of cards and try to kill my opponent. So we will have to loop. We'll have to loop a Soul Spike because they're at 19. Drawing 7. We do have Endurance already in hand, so that's good for us. Dump 2 Thought Seizes. Soul Spike again. We do have Shoal Worm here now. Also have another Soul Spike, so we're drawn pretty well as far as our draw 7s. Nothing off of that one, but that makes sense given that we had several good hits in a row. Another 7 down to 9. That's a shoal. Got another spike here. Dump a Goryo's and a Footsteps. Draw another 7. There any? Yeah, I've got Nourishing Shoal Worm. I still have a Malevolent Rumble, so I can Endurance freely. I do need to be a little bit mindful about like cutting Rumbles potentially against Endurance or against or like if I need the Endurance. I guess I can always sack the one Endurance to the other if it really came to that. But don't want to be in that spot if we can help it. I could also always exile a Shoal if I really needed to. The Shoals, like, not all of them are necessary, as you can see based on the life total that we have. We do need to play the 4 just to maximize the likelihood of them, but all right, so we get a pretty nice win over Boros Energy here, and we are 2-0. Next round in just a second. Okay, we are on the play again in round number 3, and we've opened up with a 7 that I am pretty happy with. We've got a Cookbook Grishoalbrand, and then we've got Demonic Counsel to go get it out. So we do need to think about whether or not we can counsel reliably on 2, and if not, yeah, I think I do still want to play this Cookbook on 1, and then we could potentially Rumble on 2. Yeah, okay. Or maybe I'm going to Tomb on 1 and leave my options open with this fetch land. So if I discard the Shoal and the, well, no, it's one too many cards to discard. I guess I could Shoal Pitch Rumble, discard the Grizzle. Depends on what my opponent does. If I Shoal Pitch Rumble, discard the Grizzle, Verdant, that's 3. Opponent is on Boggles. Interesting. I don't really want to do that if I don't have to. Boggles is not going to mess with my Grizzle in game 1 though, so I think I'm just going to do this. And now I have outs to Demonic Counsel this turn, and if not, it's like basically totally fine because I get to do it next turn. So here I can, I can just go Rumble. And Shifting Woodland is what I'll grab. So I have a couple different options. I can either just Shifting and copy, or I can Counsel for a Goryo's and then Goryo's. And if they don't kill my spawn, then I will Counsel for the Goryo's. But if they do kill my spawn, then I have, well, then I don't have either. I need the mana either way. But we do have, well, actually no, we only have sorcery land creature right now. I'd have to discard my Shoal in order to be able to Counsel for the Goryo's. I can see at the end of the turn what the situation is. So they get a Sparus Headquarters, put an Audacity on their Glade cover. So they've got a 3 damage attack coming in. So we have kind of an interesting situation here. I think I definitely don't discard the Shoal, but my choice basically is going to be, let's see what I draw, because that might change things. Okay, so I draw an Endurance, that's a creature, that's not really changing anything. So I could just Shoal No, but I need to dump the shoal either way to do that. To shifting, I have to dump the shoal. Because again, it's creature, land, sorcery. So I could shoal pitch endurance. Yeah, I think I like that, because that at least gains me a little bit of life. Now I can play shifting, and then 1/2 demonic council with delirium. So I can go get a Gorios. Now I can Gorios back the Grishoalbrand. Just like we drew it up. I was trying to figure out if there was some way to save the shoal, but there just wasn't. So we're drawing 7. We've got Soul Spike coming in. Play a Zurin Orb. I shouldn't have shown them that. There was no reason to show them that. It might make them think that permanents matter more. Oh, another 7. Why? There's something weird going on with like the passing right now. I'll shoal a worm. I mean, they saw shoal already, so that it's safe to assume worm from them. No point in hiding that. We do pick up more spikes. So I can get rid of Counsel, Thoughtseize. And then we can spike them one more time. Grishoalbrand and Gorios. And that's going to be the game. So we win game 1 over Boggles here. They're probably playing that new aura that like exiles something. It's like an O-ring that you can put on your Boggle. So what do I want here? I want Haywire Might. In fact, I would like more Haywire Might if I could, but I can't. Ghost Vacuum I think is not needed. Through the Breach could be interesting, especially given that I'd expect like Rest in Peace and stuff like that. Thoughtseize I'm a little bit less interested in, although as a black card I might need to leave it in just in case, because they do potentially gain life. And the question is, what else can I cut? I could maybe cut... Yeah, I think we cut a couple Thoughtseize. We could cut like... No, maybe we don't need the Breach, especially on the draw. I don't know about Breach, which means that we can cut Rumble also. Rumble is pretty good for Delirium. Maybe we cut like 1 Rumble and we leave it at like 2 Thoughtseize. Again, the Thoughtseize are mostly there as black card, not necessarily as like a discard spell, but I will play them as a discard spell if they don't have Leyline. So here we have Cookbook, we have Woodland. The Worms and Endurance are kind of useless. Rumble Woodland is good. It represents a potential turn 3. I'm going to keep this. I'm not thrilled about it, but if I can find either a Demonic Council or if I just bin the Grizzle off the Rumble, there's enough chances here that I'm gonna keep it. Council might be a little bit slow. That could be a turn 4. Maybe I end up in a world where Endurance is chumping something. But let's see. City of Brass. Interesting. They've got their Boggle. We draw a Haywire Might, which is pretty good. So I am gonna shock. So I need the green for Woodland, but I also just need black mana, so I do have to get Overgrown Tomb here. I'm gonna play Cookbook. Hold back Haywire until I like know what I need to do with it. I don't think the O-Ring hits non-creatures, but maybe. They're gonna be taking some damage from their auras. Curious Obsession, okay. And they get a card. We're taking some damage. Mortuary. think not what we need. I'm gonna play shifting, gonna rumble. I'll take the land. That was a pretty bad rumble. We do have artifact, instant, sorcery, land in the yard. So if we do find demonic, we can do something with that. Given that I can't really do anything in one turn here, I think I probably chump. Unless they like play an aura, that means I can't. Spar's headquarters, okay. I will probably bin a worm here. What are they playing? What does this do? Vigilance and reach. Okay. I mean, I can pop that with the haywire. Even block sack. All right, I don't necessarily need to bin anything yet. So we surveil. Saga is not what we need. Have a haywire might. We're passing. Guess we probably blow up the line umbra. See what else they add to this. Oh, wait, that was enchant modified? Never mind, I should have blown up the Curious Obsession, and then it would have made the line number fall off. Whoops. I did not read that card well enough. Opponent has maybe a Daybreak Coronet? They do. Do they have another enchantment is the question. So here, I am going to discard a worm. I don't think I'm going to need 2 worms. Maybe I need the food. Saga. Yeah, not great. I mean, we're going to take a hit here. We do get to gain some life back with the cookbook and the foods. So I can essentially gain 6 life here between this food and making another food. And I'll discard probably Stomping Grounds. Need another Haywire Might now. I do get to, if I do get to, oh, that's big. It's very large. They're gonna gain a bunch of life. If this fails, we do get to like hold them back with the worm. Or if we what's it called? If they don't have anything else. Boggle. I'm happy about that. Back the food. Dump the Stomping Grounds. Back another food. Go to next turn. Pick up a Demonic Counsel. Okay. Interesting. That does represent a Grishoalbrand. The slight problem with that is that it's a little bit slow. But I guess first, this thing does not have trample yet. So I could like make a construct and have it chump demonic for the Grishoalbrand and try to do something with that. The other option is I like hold up the ability to bring back a worm as a blocker, which is also kind of powerful. And if we draw another land, then we get to Demonic Counsel. I think I actually like holding up the worm blocker, because they probably don't attack into that. And if they don't attack into it, then I get to make a construct token, untap, make another construct token, and go from there. So probably that's okay. Surprised they're playing so many like multi. I guess they have so many different colors that they need to play the multi lands. Maybe they're not thinking of our worm. Are they gonna kill our worm? Who knows? We're gonna see. So we'll get a swamp, poppy worm, green, green. And do we get to block? I mean, I guess they do gain a bunch of life here. That's a concern. I guess Umbra. What does Umbra armor even do? That's not the same as Totem armor. I don't think that's the same as Totem armor. Totem armor. Is that if another enchantment is going to get destroyed? Okay. Oh no, it is like Totem armor. Okay. What are they playing? Invisible Stalker. All right. And they're putting an Audacity on it. Yeah, that makes sense. Go to our turn. Draw a card. Endurance is really not what we need. So here, I can get Haywire Might, pop the Curious Obsession. Daybreak Coronet falls off. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think I don't make a construct. Instead, I'm just gonna Demonic Counsel for the Grizzle. So I can pop that and then make and crack a food. And I'll wait to pop it until after they attack. I'm assuming they're not going to have a flash aura. They could, but I guess the other option is I block it and I pop like the Audacity or something that would do more damage. That actually might be better. Okay, so that's something I could pop. So that's pretty large. They have nothing. I don't know why they'd play that land. This does not have trample. We're going to block here. Block. And then we'll destroy Strength of the Harvest. We take 4 to 15 or to 12. And then we discard our Grizzle, making a food and cracking the food to go up to 15. So we have 2 Grizzle activations here. Worst case. Copy the Grizzle with shifting. They don't have any interaction. We have Worm and Spike in hand, so we have at least a little bit of life gain here already. Interestingly, we had Demonic Counsel, but the better mode was go get Grishoalbrand, even with Delirium. That's kind of funny. Alright, so we've got multiple spikes. So we do need to do some looping. Because they are at 23, so it's going to take 6 spikes, which I'm assuming we have enough for, although I did not count it. So we can shoal a worm. Turn Timber is nice to have a little bit more shoaling as well. I'll play the Zurin Orb because why not? Draw more cards. We have the Endurances already, which is also good. Again, the spikes can cannibalize themselves if we have to as we get like down towards the end of a loop. That's nothing. Draw another 7, down to 9. Do we have another Wormed Shoal? We do. We have a Rumble for the Endurances. Thoughtseize and Grizzle can go. 7 more before we have to Endurance. Okay. So then it is, I guess I can shoal the Turn Timber. And then we Endurance away a Rumble. Draw some more cards. Got a Worm to shoal. 7 more. Soul Spike. 7 more. Soul Spike. Thoughtseize and Counsel. And then we've got another Soul Spike. So we're plenty on damage. We could have done more damage too, honestly, if we needed to. All right, so we win the match 2-0. We are 3-0. Okay, so we are on the draw here. This hand is kind of close. If it had a second land, I'd be more interested, especially over this Zurin orb. But as it is, I think it's a little bit too risky and potentially slow. Like 2 Demonic Counsel, if one of these was a Grishoalbrand or a Goryo's, I'd be more interested. As it stands, our plan is like hope we draw a second land, Rumble, and then like Counsel Thoughtseize ourselves, and then hopefully we drew another land so that on like turn 4 we have Counsel for Goryo's, and that's with no interaction. And that's if we draw like multiple running lands. I'm gonna mulligan that. This hand is kind of a slightly better version of the same hand. I'm gonna keep it, get rid of the shoal. Because I have the cookbook, the Thoughtseize can be used interactively. The Counsel, it's just 1 Counsel. Shifting is reanimation, so the Demonic Counsel can be a Grishoalbrand. So this hand is a lot better. Depending on what they do, I'll know whether I need to turn 1 Thoughtseize or not. If not, I'll probably get a Surveil, and then turn 2, ooh, Esper Sentinel, interesting. Hammer. Soul Spike. So I'm gonna maybe play, well, this is kind of tough. I don't want to take much damage. I could Soul Spike the Esper Sentinel, but if I do that, I obviously lose the Thoughtseize. I think I am going to leave up the ability to Soul Spike in case they have like Sigarda's Aid Hammer or something. And if they don't, then I like my position a little bit better. And I can Surveil on end step. So, all right, well, we're gonna Surveil. And we're going to, we're gonna bin that. Can't search libraries. So I may have to spike that. Let's see what I draw. I draw another Shifting Woodland. So I could play Cookbook. I could also just like spike the Arbiter. I think maybe I do just play Cookbook and pay the Sentinel for it. They have like removal for the Cookbook. This is kind of bad, but I don't really have another option, I don't think. So here I'm gonna hit the Arbiter, pitching these two so that I get to keep my land. I need the lands because my reanimation plan is basically Shifting Woodland. Get a basic, so that's something. They hit the mortuary. I will get my swamp. Yes. They can hit me for 1. I did gain a little bit of life, which is nice. Just buffers some of this like chip damage that's coming in. They have a Ragavan too. All right. So we're going to be taking a decent chunk next turn. We're not really in a position to win this turn. I can put in this turn timber, and now I can like hardcast endurance and eat something of theirs, which I like. All right, so endurance is coming in. I don't want to endurance myself because I'm reliant on shifting woodland here. They have mana tithe? They've mana tithed my endurance? Are you kidding me? What? Okay. I mean, sure. That's interesting. All right, so it probably has to be Grishoalbrand off the top here, or else, well, now we're just dead. I think we're just dead. Rumble can Rumble save it? No, Rumble can't save it. We'll try. Get a card. Yeah, I'm gonna scoop it up there. All right, so that was pretty brutal. What do we need here? Slaughter Pact, maybe? They're destroying lands. I'm not interested in Breach. Slaughter Pact against Arbiter. Yeah, the problem is Slaughter Pact, I might need it on an earlier turn, but I'll still bring it in. I guess there's probably hate that Haywire Might would be useful for. Ghost Vacuum, no. So what don't I need? Cut some Rumbles. Well, on the play, I like Rumble more. Maybe I don't need Slaughter Pact on the play. Maybe like 1 Slaughter Pact. Zurin seems fine. Thoughtseize seems a little bit worse. Honestly, maybe it's cut for Thoughtseize. Yeah, we'll go like this. Okay, so we've got a clunky hand that doesn't really do a lot. That's going to be a mulligan. We've got a clunky hand, but does a little bit more, but I think it's still too risky. That's going to be a mulligan. This is going to be a keep. So I'm going to ditch the Soul Spike and the Saga, I think. Yeah, Saga. And then I'm going to go Forest, Cookbook, pass. And then it's turn 2, Swamp, Demonic Council for Grizzle. Turn 3, Gorios is the plan. I would like to draw another black source, really. So that if this one gets blown up, then I am okay with that. Let's see what the follow-up is. Could be land Arbiter. I'd be happy about that one. Dash a Ragavan. Boom. Not what we need. So yeah, that's why I was saying I wanted a black source. I'm gonna bin the Gristle. I don't think they're gonna have a surgical or anything like that. I think there's high enough chance that I draw. Well, I was gonna say if I draw like a green land and I want to be like sacrificing foods. All right, maybe we're just gonna get Ponzed out. They specifically had to have the 2 mana land destruction. So now here, where they play like land and then pillage our other land, that's where we now lose. Okay, no pillage. Okay, never mind. Sure. Land? Okay, that's a land. It counts. Do they have another land? Is it Mana Tithe? Lin Arbiter. Doesn't do anything yet, but we probably have to draw the black source here, because if they have like Knight of the White Orchid or something, then we're in a lot of trouble. And that's not the black source. All right, probably losing this land. Not Knight of the White Orchid. Whatever the White Orchid Phantasm, forget what it's called. Sunbaked and Fable. Okay, we have still have a chance. This could be Mana Tithe, which would be not great for us. And well, I mean, yeah, there's no point in really discarding something else, I don't think. No, I mean, we'll try, but no. Are we? No, we're down a game. And so if we win this, we have to win a third one. I was thinking, was there a first game that I won that I don't remember? But no. They discard Cascading Cataracts, draw a card. It means they kept a card, which I don't like. Feels like Mana Tithe. Really feels like Mana Tithe. We're at 10. Chandra, that's fine. Ragavan. All right. Do we draw a land? No, we do not. We are, well, we're effectively dead. Well, that's going to flip 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, technically, we're not dead. I'll see what. I mean, I think there's an 100% chance we're dead here, but in theory, if they had nothing, we could top deck. Oh no, but our swamp is gone. So, all right, yeah, never mind. I was gonna say we could top deck untapped black source, but our only untapped black source that doesn't do damage to us is swamp. So, all right, that was kind of brutal. We definitely had chances. They just had the 2-mana land destruction. Otherwise, I think we would have had that game. But match was a different question entirely. Sometimes that happens. All right, round number 5. Round number 5, we are on the play. We have a pretty good hand. We can go turn 1 Saga, and then turn 3, when that Saga pops, we get a discard and we footsteps back our Gristle. So I'm going to keep this. So on our main phase, put Saga in. And as I kind of always say when I play the turn 1 Saga, we bluff that we're Amulet. Because I don't really think any other deck does this. Mortuary. I mean, not exactly. Oh wait, we don't have a green source. So we do need to hit or a black source. So we do need to hit a black source off of this Rumble. Okay, Verdant is perfect. I'll take that. Nourishing Shoal looks awfully suspicious there, sitting in the graveyard. If it was just like Shifting Cookbook Rumble, it would be a little bit better, I think, as far as like how it looks, basically. Footsteps is maybe like our worst thing to have against what looks like control, because it's a sorcery. We need like instant speed, aka Gorios, or Shifting Woodland. There's actually a case to be made there that we should have kept the Shifting Woodland. I clicked a little too hastily. I wasn't really looking at what they were doing. Okay, they have Elegant Parlor. So I think there's a decent chance that I bet on them not having the Force. And are they playing like Spell Pierce? I kind of doubt it. Spell Pierce is like not great right now in Modern, I feel like. I can make a mana. They're consigning our search. Okay. That's actually okay because we have this spawn. So I can play Verdant, play Cookbook. We drew a Cookbook. Fetch. Womp. Discard a Grizzle. And then Footsteps back the Grizzle. And do they have Force Negation? They don't. So we are going to win here, probably. As long as we don't brick. Draw 7. Do they have Solitude? Solitude would be a little bit of a beating. I mean, we still get to draw the cards, so it's like not the worst. But it wouldn't be good. Got a couple Demonic Councils to Soul Spike them. They certainly would have used the Force if they had it. So I was like, well, they could Subtlety and Endurance. That would be kind of bad. We don't really have a way to play around it though, other than just like play second Endurance. So we need to actually just hope we draw our second Endurance. Draw more cards. I'm not gonna use Zurin Orb unless I can, like, unless absolutely necessary, specifically for that reason. We will have 4 cards left. We have yet to see an Endurance, so that's looking not great. We did pick up another Spike. We do have both Endurances. Okay, that's good. So what don't I need? Probably Demonic Council and like a Thoughtseize. We can Shoal a Worm. We can Spike them again using like Grizzle Gorios. We can then Endurance, pitching Rumble. Draw some more cards. We've got Shoal Pitch Worm. And Spike them, getting rid of Thoughtseize and Gorios. All right, so we get game 1 over what I suspect is like energy control, although I don't know for certain. Archive Parlor, yeah, I suspect it's control. So I think I want Pact. Don't think I need the Zurin. Our life total is probably not going to be under pressure. Ghost Vacuum I do like, even though it's a little bit slow. I mean, they could be playing Surgical, so I think it's reasonable. I'm going to cut like a Rumble or 2. And then we can cut maybe like 1 Cookbook and Footsteps. Footsteps is definitely our worst reanimation spell. Just there to like slightly up the density. And definitely, I mean, the nut draw of like turn 1 Saga or Cookbook, turn 2 Counsel, go get Grishoalbrand, turn 3 Gorios or Footsteps is definitely a very real one. There's also the nut draw of, well, like the real nut draw is turn 2, like turn 1 Cookbook with Grizzle and Gorios in hand. But then the other reasonable turn 3 is like turn 1 Saga or Cookbook, turn 2 we Rumble, and then turn 3 Shifting Woodland. How do I feel about this? We don't have a Grishoalbrand. We do have multiple discard spells. I am going to keep this. I think it's interactive. The Gorios I'm happy about. The Rumble hopefully finds me another land. Maybe if the Rumble hits a Grishoalbrand, this is very good. If the Rumble like hits a Soul Guide, okay. Did I bring the Haywires in? I think I brought the Haywires in. I meant to. I didn't. Lovely. Well, that's bad. So then the play is have, what's it called? I'm gonna spin that. The play is have a Ghost Vacuum. It basically has to be Ghost Vacuum, I think. It could be Saga, like a Saga plan. Yeah, that's reasonable. Saga can also get Ghost Vacuum. They've got Force Ring. I'm gonna take the ring and just like play Saga and maybe try and kill him with constructs. That'll take up a shifting. Yeah, I mean, Shoal not the best here. Surveilled. What'd they do with it? Did they top? They did. So I probably thought seize them here. No, but I can't really because I need to make constructs. Play woodland. Yeah, I need to make the constructs, I think. I need both constructs to like have a plan to win this game. So thought seizing and then like rumble takes me off of the constructs, which I don't think I can afford. I absolutely just should have brought in the Haywire Mites. I just thought I did. It wasn't like I like chose to leave them out. It's just dumb mistakes. At least I probably would have brought in like 2, maybe 3, maybe 3. All right, so on end step, we're going to make a construct. They missed a land drop, which I like for us. I'm gonna get Ghost Vacuum. It gives me some play against Soul Guide, although it is definitely a little bit slow. Cookbook next turn, so next turn's probably like Cookbook Thoughtseize, although it could be Rumble. Maybe they found like another ring. It'd be interesting if we like find a creature that we hit with Ghost Vacuum and then what do they got? Wrath of Skies? Flage. Well, I mean, we can Ghost Vacuum that. They probably kill one of the constructs. Yeah, makes sense. So here I'm gonna eat their Flage. Again, yeah, they kill a construct, but then we go to our turn. Saga, another Saga, that's excellent. So I'm going to Thoughtseize them first. Force Pitch Force. Be a wide variety of things. They do Force Pitch Force, okay. Then I'm going to Rumble looking for a land. Yeah, Shifting Woodland will do. And then I'm going to leave this spawn because my goal is going to be to Ghost Vacuum my Grishoalbrand and then get another Grishoalbrand. But I don't need to Ghost Vacuum it yet. Basically, I just need to keep it as like if they Soul Guide, I Ghost Vacuum in response, or like vice versa. I also do get to 5 mana with this shifting with the spawn. Interestingly, what did they need to preserve? It maybe is a ring. I feel like it could be ring. Parlor, okay. So on our turn, it's probably like play Cookbook, dump, well, maybe not dump something. Depends on what we draw, I guess. Thoughtseize is a pretty good pickup. I'm going to play the shifting. I'm going to Thoughtseize them. Gives us more info on like what precisely we need to do here. Like tapping for another force. Okay. Sure. So I'm gonna, if I cookbook, swing, I think I'd rather just make another construct. The question here is, do I cookbook to make this construct bigger? I think I don't. Yeah, I don't think I need to. And like, I could just Flage if I get another mana. Whoops, I meant to attack. That was definitely a mistake. Just click too fast. I can Flage if I get another mana, but I maybe would rather wait and try to get a Grizzle with it, although I don't really know how they're beating a Flage. Okay, they didn't have anything. Not sure what they're protecting. Maybe like a solitude? No. Surgical? They could be protecting surgical, and we're just sort of holding it back with Ghost Vacuum. But yeah, I mean, maybe a surgical. That would make sense to be something that they would protect right now. So here, I think I am going to make another construct. I don't need to go for this Ghost Vacuum this turn. Go for a cookbook. Get a Catacombs. So we can attack. Actually, I should have played that cookbook, and then we could have threatened lethal. That was dumb. That was just very dumb. Dress down. Well, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, it'll eat our constructs. Yeah, so that makes sense as something that they were protecting. Had we played the cookbook, we could have pacted to defend it and then just killed them this turn. So this mistake could potentially cost us. That was definitely not great. All right. So we'll pass. Back the dress down. Go to their turn. Or yeah. So we need to draw land basically. So I'm not gonna crack this Verdant. Although if I do crack the Verdant, I get to Goryo's, and then when they Soul Guide, I respond with a Ghost Vacuum. That might be worth doing. And then double packed, not useful yet. Maybe eventually. So their second main. They have another Flage. Okay. What are they? They're shooting our Scion. Okay, so I'm gonna sacrifice this. I'm gonna go for a Goryo's now. When they eat it, I Ghost Vacuum it. Now they can eat the yard. Oreos happens and doesn't do anything. The Flage dies. I can Ghost Vacuum that next turn. And do I want to fetch here? I think no, because I'd rather work on getting my way up towards 6 mana. Okay, we hit a Goryo's. Not what we need. But I will eat their Flage. Alright, so we're just passing. I don't really have anything I want to discard, so we're just gonna chill. They get another land. They only have one card in hand. Hopefully, honestly, what I'd prefer them to draw right now is counterspells, so that gives us time to draw lands to like Ghost Vacuum something. Ghost Vacuum, I think, is a pretty cool addition, especially for these types of matchups where it's like things nuking your graveyard, but then it's like slow, aka like control decks. Might be able to like eat all of their win cons too. Like if they just play Flages and then they don't have anything else, maybe. Yeah, there's nothing I want to cookbook right now. Demonic Counsel would be good. Okay, land. I'll accept land. We're just gonna pass back. Work on drawing that 6th land. Yeah, I think Ghost Vacuum seems like just a very good card to fight like surgicals and whatnot. Obviously, Counsel has also been pretty impressive, but Soul Spike, not what we need. We're just passing. Again, double pact is pretty strong. I could think about binning the Gorios, but no, I'd rather not just like fully rely on the shifting, so. They could have like a big no, but that's a trick. That's not a trick. That's activated, not triggered. So I was gonna say, like, would a big replicated consign be a threat? I think maybe no. Okay, so we pick up a Counsel. So I'm gonna play that. Get a Grizzle. Get a land. Dump the Grizzle. Make a food. Gorio's it back. I have 2 pacts. What you got? They've got a Dress Down that I'm going to Pact of Negation. What else you got? Nothing. We attack. Putting them to 8. We have 1 Soul Spike in hand already. Shoal Worm. Soul Spike them. Ditch a Thoughtseize and a Grizzle. Draw 7 more. And they scoop it up. All right, so we get there with a 4-1. So let's just take a look back at the deck list real quick. Okay, so what are my takeaways? Well, first of all, I think the deck definitely improves with Counsel and this like 4 cookbook plan. I like it a lot. That being said, this is definitely still a work in progress, and I did feel that at times too. Slaughter Pact, I'm not sure how necessary that is. Ghost Vacuum, I think, was quite good. Haywire Might, I think I need the 4th one. Through the Breach, I mean, Breach, it's basically against the blue decks, we want Pact. And we did face 2 blue decks, I think, the Turns deck and the Control deck in the last round there. We beat Energy, we lost to the Boom Bust deck, and then we beat something else. I don't remember what. But yeah, I mean, Through the Breach, I guess, is mainly there for like a slightly slower deck with like permanent based interaction that is shutting down the graveyard. Like maybe like or not even just permanent based interaction, just any sort of, you know, a bunch of endurances, things that I need to worry about with that. However, relying only on Rumble for the ramp is a little bit sketchy. I originally had Strike It Riches in this list in order to be able to more reliably play the Breach, but I just don't have the slots in the deck, and even sideboarding is a bit of a struggle because you can't really board out too many Thoughtseizes or too many Rumbles because you need them to support the Soul Spikes and the endurances and everything. So the list is very tight as far as what you're allowed to board out, and you're not allowed to board out much. Now, with Breach, it does turn into like boarding out maybe a substantial number of Gorios, maybe some more of the cookbooks and things like that, which can be good. But in that situation, I think there needs to be some sort of mana accelerant played in the sideboard alongside it in order to make that a more reliable plan. Demonic Council feels like it's not hitting Delirium that regularly, but that's okay because I much more often just need it to be Grishoalbrand than I need it to be like Goryo's Vengeance or something. Because I have 4 shifting, 4 Gorios, and the Footsteps, so we just have more reanimation spells than we have Grishoalbrands. So this usually being Grishoalbrand is actually just totally fine. I definitely think the list is improved. Definitely let me know what you think. If you have, suggestions, the sideboard I think in particular is a weak point right now, but the deck is sweet. It's definitely something I'll be working on going forward. Like I said, I am also interested in like a Sultai version with Frog and like founding the third path and stuff. So I need to do a little bit more brewing with that because I don't quite have a list lined up. But until next time, keep casting your Grishoalbrands. Well, not casting them, keep returning them from the grave. And I probably will be a little bit light on modern stuff for the next week or so, just because I have RC Washington DC coming up, so I'm going to be playing a lot of Pioneer and practicing for that. I might put out a Pioneer video. I got to see the timings exactly, but so if you're interested in that, stay tuned. If you're going to be at the RC in Washington, definitely feel free to reach out if you'd like to meet up and talk combo at all. But until next time, keep bringing your Grishoalbrand back and killing your opponent with 5 soul spikes. Bye everyone.